Hey again, everyone. Today I'm not going to be reviewing a movie. I'm not going to be talking about a video game. Instead, today I want to talk about something that really angers me. Okay, I'm just going to say I'm a firm believer that you can take any horror concept, make it into a movie, and make it good. I've seen it done. I've seen great concepts being done in the past. With that being said, sometimes just because you can make something doesn't mean you should. See, I'm a fan of the Amityville horror. The original 1970s movie is a great horror movie to this day and age. It's still got some good effects, it's got some good scares, it's got some good suspense and atmosphere. It's a good movie. I'm just going to say the remake isn't too bad either. I mean, it's not great, but it's certainly not insultingly bad. With that being said, I just want to get into the fact that this movie was made into a series. Yeah. Again, just because you can make something doesn't mean you should, and this certainly did not need to be a movie series. And with that being, I know I ramble a lot. Anyway. Of the movies that are in the series, 3 and 5 are perhaps the worst in my opinion. The worst films in the series. However, I can honestly say that the second movie, Amityville 2: The Possession, is my most hated film in the series. And why is that? Well, first off, this is a prequel to the first movie. A prequel. Doesn't sound too bad, right? You know, see stuff about the murders and stuff that led up to the events of the first movie. Which, yeah, is a neat concept. But here's a problem. It's inspired by an actual tragedy that occurred in Amityville, New York in the 1970s. When Ronald Butch DeFeo murdered his parents, his 2 sisters, and his 2 brothers with a shotgun in the middle of the night. See, this angers me because this movie did not do anything remotely right. The scares were weak. The effects were weak. That's not the only thing. If you wanted to make a movie based on the events that took place in the house, fine. But do it right. Do something that's respectful to the victims of the actual tragedy. How can this be bad? Well, consider this. They don't get the family's name correct. In the movie, they're called the Mantelli family. In reality, their names were the DeFeos. The DeFeo family. Oh, and here's one thing. They can't even get the family's names right. See, I haven't studied all the names of the actual family. Just Ronald and his sister Dawn. They call her Patricia in this movie. The only name they got right was Mark. There was a Mark in this movie, and there was a Mark in real life. So I gotta give them points for that at least. Oh wait, they're not spelled the same way. Well, that's nitpicky. And here's one. The first thing that insults me. Well, I've already said the first thing that insults me. The names. The second thing that I find insulting. There were 5 family members in the family. Killed in the movie, I mean. In real life, there were 6. 6 people that Ronald DeFeo killed. This movie, he kills 5. So, yeah, they can't even get the number of victims in the tragedy correct. The names and the victims. It just screwed all that up. Again, further evidence that this movie did not need to be made. So anyway. What was I saying next? Oh yeah. It's just... I get so turned around on what I'm saying sometimes I forget what I was going to say next. Oh yeah. There's another thing that irritates me is the creative liberties it took with this movie. See, now you can take something that's inspired by a real event and put your own spin on it. And that's not bad, so long as they're respectful to the people who were killed. But this, no. They actually make one subplot in the movie based on pure speculation. This subplot is that Sonny and his sister Patricia are having an incestuous relationship. Which, yes, I know does happen in real life. But here's the thing. This entire subplot is inspired by something that was pure speculation in the actual events. This is under the speculation that Ronald and his sister Dawn were having an incestuous relationship. Which, even today, he denies ever happened. And this movie likes to show that the family was terrorized by poltergeist activity before the tragedy occurred. Which is not the case. This movie... I don't honestly know how to describe it. They try to make it look like the family was attacked by a demon of sorts, and that they were slowly going mad by it, leading up to Sonny committing the murders, which is not the case. Many psychiatrists to this day believe that the whole demon thing was something that Ronald created in his head due to his drug habits, and yes, he was a known drug user and a junkie. It's just, why do you do something like that? The creative liberties took something that was pure speculation about Ronald and his sister Dawn committing incest. Again, something he denies ever happened. And keep in mind, I believe him about that. The guy fessed up to killing his family. Think he would, after nearly 40 years, would try to still say that something like incest never happened? I'm gonna wrap this up. Final thing I'm gonna say is something that was not only insulting to real life, but not just isolated with this film that's insulting to real life, but something regarding the entire series. They like to make it look like that the Amityville house was on an isolated property somewhere on Long Island, which it was not. For those of you that live in a neighborhood, look outside and see how far your house is from your neighbors. That's what it was like with the Amityville house. It was in the middle of a large neighborhood on Long Island. It was not in some isolated location in the country. It was not outside of town. It was in the middle of town, in the town of Amityville. So yeah, this inspired by actual events, my ass. They took something that actually happened, and they made a fictional story out of it. Some films, some films can do that well. This movie did not. This film failed at what it tried to be. It tried to be a retelling of actual events, of an actual tragedy. But it didn't. It just became another work of fiction that tried to cash in on something popular. At that time, it was the Amityville movies, and was trying to cash in on this family's blood. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I just want to say thanks guys for watching, and if you are gonna watch any Amityville movies, I recommend the first movie because it's a good scary movie. The fourth movie because it's so asininely bad that it's very fun to watch. And again, I will say the remake isn't too bad. So check those out if you wish. Thank you all for watching, and I'll check you all later. Hopefully my next time I talk about a movie, it'll be something more positive.